All right, this is the wrap-up show with John and Jim, presented by Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Another day, another nightmare offensively for the Padres. If there's any good news, it's what's going on right now at Dodger Stadium, believe it or not, because the Dodgers are playing the Brewers, and the Brewers are trailing right now 12-4 as we start the wrap-up show. But the Padres shut out 7-0. They just completed a 6-game homestand where they scored 9 runs. The only time in franchise history they've had a 6-game homestand or longer and scored fewer runs was the first ever homestand in the history of the franchise in April of 1969. So it's all gone freaking sideways. I mean, it's all gone sideways. Yet the Padres will enter Kansas City with a wild card lead. John and Jim with you. We want to hear from you. Please subscribe if you're a Padres fan. We're with you on the good days. We're with you on the bad days. Please smash the like button for us. Please follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Please consider joining and becoming a member. You'll get custom emojis and badges and members-only content by clicking join down below. And please consider the supers as well. We've had so many supers roll in throughout the course of the season. We even tried to reverse the curse with some super chats about a week ago. It worked for maybe 2 days.
A day.
But it may be for a day. You're right. And now here we are again. Jim, it's deja vu all over again. They have an identical record to the one they had a year ago. They have a lead for a final wild card. It's tenuous at best. And we'll get into today, Jim. But, I mean, it's just another extremely disappointing day where the Padres just don't show up.
This is rock bottom. Bob Melvin said it today.
Yeah.
This is it. I see in the chat, Car Zombie Eatery said it's they're lifeless. Absolutely right. They are a lifeless team right now. They're just a collection of players. They don't play like a team. They don't do anything like a team, really. And it was pathetic to watch this team over this homestand. And really for the last, 10-game road trip and then a six-game homestand. So the last 16 games has been just some of the worst baseball that you could watch offensively. Just pathetic at bats after pathetic at bats. I think, I don't know the exact number, but in the 12 losses since the trade deadline, because this team is 8-12, they've scored I think 18
runs.
Total runs. Yeah, 18 runs in those 12 losses. And you know how many runs
because
they
roll over. They roll over when they're losing.
They can't rise above adversity. They literally crumble at the first sign of adversity. In any game, they go down 1-0. It's over. It's over. And in the 8 games they've won, they've been front runners. They scored over 50 runs in those games. I think they might have, gone down a couple runs, then come back or whatever the case may be. But they are very good front runners. They get out to a lead. Most of the time, they win those games. But when they go down 1-0 early on, they fold in like a cheap suit. They are so weak. They're such weak-minded that they can't overcome. It's just a simple 1-run deficit. Never.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. I really do. It reminds me, it's almost identical to 2021. We blamed it on they didn't make trade deadline moves. Their starting pitching was gas. Their manager wasn't good. Well, now you make trade deadline moves. I know it's not all perfect. Soto's been out. Tatis ain't coming back. Your starting pitching is better than it was a year ago. Your manager theoretically is better than he was a year ago. And you're in an identical spot, not one game better than you were a year ago. And someone convinced me otherwise. How is this team going to finish better than last year's team finished? It's the same situation they're staring at. Tough schedule, adversity, other teams like Milwaukee having an easier schedule than you. You got the Dodgers 9 times. You have a 9-game road trip coming up. How is this even possible that we're having these conversations? There's every excuse in the world. You want to say, well, Tatis got suspended. That put them off kilter. These are all laughable. They're laughable excuses. I'm looking at scores around Major League Baseball tonight, Jim, and there are teams that are nowhere near as good as the Padres, theoretically, at least on paper, that score more than the Padres consistently, including the Brewers' offense isn't better than the Padres. I know they're getting smoked 12-4 tonight, but they at least aren't lifeless. They can score some runs. They won at L.A. this week. They don't roll over. They're not getting shut out. It's not good trend lines, man. It's just not trending in the right direction.
if you play the Dodgers like you have the entire year, you are screwed.
Correct. If you go 2-7,
Plain and simple.
because you're 2-8 this year. If you go 2-7,
That's it.
you're buried. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, if
That's
we're
it.
being honest and objective from 30,000 feet, if you
Yep.
weren't a Padres fan and you were looking in from the outside and you've done the deep dive, you would say they've already buried themselves based on not creating separation in August. That's what you would say in all likelihood.
They've screwed themselves.
Yeah, and if you look at Fangraphs, they've gone from 90% to 80% to 70% to right now 63% to make the playoffs, which for me is still way too high because I'm watching this team day in and day out, and I don't think they're going to back into the postseason by playing 300 baseball. So, if you're watching, it feels like the writing is on the wall. Now, can they still salvage it because they've got the game and a half lead? Yeah, but what's going to happen if they go to Kansas City and they get swept there or lose 2 out of 3? Then what do we say? Well, there's still time. I mean, at some point, you have to win. I mean, at some point, you have to win. And if you don't
listen.
You're one streak away from any other team. Let's say the Giants win 6 straight. Let's say the Brewers win 5 straight, and you go 1-4. You're cooked. You're buried. It's over. It's done.
Don't listen. I mean, you can listen to us, and we thank you all for joining. But listen to Bob Melvin. Okay, he said it today. We're running out of time, and by that he means if we don't start winning and play some good fucking baseball starting Friday. Like John just said, you're cooked. You're done. You go on this 9-game road trip and you go 3-6. And then you play the Dodgers 6 more times. You play the Cardinals. You go to Colorado for 4. You play the Giants for another 3 games.
After the trip. White Sox, who are capable with their offense.
Like you said, John, you are one bad week and one good week in the same span from the Milwaukee Brewers from being done.
Because they're not overcoming. I mean, guys, let's be honest. Who thinks if the Padres fall 3 games out for the final wild card, they're coming all the way back in the final 21 games? I just can't see it because I watch every single game and I'm watching. The tea leaves are pointing towards the Padres needing to do it now or it's not going to happen. Cam, thank you for the super. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you want to make sure we get your comment, click the $sign down below in the chat. It's a great way to support this channel. We appreciate all the supers that roll in throughout the course of a show. We'll interact with all of them. Cam says this, as some freight train is literally in my home. I mean, literally, not just a freight train, the loudest helicopter in the history of the world. Listen to this. Literally, we're under attack in Del Mar.
I mean, it's fitting, right?
He says, Padres play on the Comedy Channel starting on Friday. Shake my head. I feel like we've been rock bottom for the last couple of weeks. Help. Prayers emojis. Yeah, the whole rock bottom thing. I saw some of that great tweet today, Jim, on social media. There's no such. If you've been a Padres fan, there's no such thing as rock bottom.
Guys, it
always
gets worse.
Get worse.
It gets worse.
And look at 2021. There was no rock bottom until the season was over.
Yeah, it gets worse. It could always get worse. And this season has been such a roller coaster ride. From 17 games over 500 to now, I believe they're only 10 games over 500. And they should be lucky that they're there because the way that they've played baseball has been just the most uninspiring baseball you've ever seen. I mean, besides Manny the last 3 weeks, this team has done nothing offensively. And every one of them needs to be called out. Jurickson Profar, Jake Cronenworth, Trent Grisham. Hassan Kim's been pretty good. Jorge Alfaro, Austin Nola, the entire bench, Will Myers, have all been Brandon Drury, Josh Bell. They have all been beyond pathetic. And that is the reason why this team has gone in the shit. Because your role players are playing horribly. Nobody's stepping up. Nobody. And this will be the reason why they missed the postseason.
No, you're right. The role players have been bad. I'm with Mark, our title sponsor. I mean, I was preaching this today. I've been preaching it recently. Campusano should be here for Alfaro. If you're watching Alfaro, it has been an absolute disaster. I mean, he's had no chance in the batter's box.
None.
What does he bring to you defensively? I mean, if the argument is Campusano isn't a good defensive catcher, well, I could tell you right now that Austin Nola and Jorge Alfaro are not exactly Johnny Bench back there, or not exactly Pudge Rodriguez back there defensively. So Alfaro, thank you for your service. You had some big moments. They were months ago, and maybe he's hurt, and that's a reasonable excuse. If you're hurt, it's time for Campusano to get the playing time that Alfaro is currently receiving. What's going to happen that's worse than the way Alfaro has played with his 500 OPS and his 1 million strikeouts? And then Rosario, I'm with you. Now, Rosario's an infielder. You know, he primarily plays infield at least. Grisham has no business being on a team that's trying to make the playoffs. He's just trying to figure himself out right now. And by right now, I mean all year. And really since 2020, he's just trying to find out who he is. He's completely lost. So now is the time to think outside the box, AJ Preller. I'm not going to tell you right now. I think AJ Preller should go if this team misses the postseason.
Is it too late though?
I don't think so.
Like changing so much of your team so this late in the year?
I don't think so. I really don't. No, not something like. I mean, Campusano is homer now back-to-back games. Look, I mean, no. I mean, he deserves an opportunity because Alfaro has not taken advantage of his.
So who's the core of this team? Who's been the core of this team all year?
Machado.
That's it.
Musgrove.
No, offensively.
Well, Machado. And
that's it.
You know, and arguably so Soto these last 3 weeks.
What AJ Preller has been literally doing is Machado's the base piece of this team, and he's been working everything around that. Is that a recipe for winning baseball? To constantly be moving all these pieces around one guy?
Well, dude, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but last year they didn't move pieces. They sucked. This year they go get generational, transformational players, guys having career years. I'm not talking about Soto. I'm talking about Drury and Bell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Whatever they've tried hasn't worked.
I don't care either. I'm just trying to point out to like maybe reasons why this is not working because of how much change there has been. And you bring up Campusano and Eggy Rosario and you put them in there for
guys that haven't done anything.
For Grisham and Campusano. Like it, I mean, is this too much change? Maybe it helps. Maybe it doesn't help. Like,
come on. I mean, got to try something. You're going to let the ship just sink?
I don't know.
I'd rather go down fighting. And I agree with Ben. I mean, yes, he needs, Alfaro gets consistent at bats. I'm giving Alfaro's ABs to Campusano. And I'm saying you can't be worse. It's not possible. It's not possible. But he would be worse.
Also, the reason why they'll make or miss the playoffs won't be because of just that one move. Again, the guys like Profar and Cronenworth and Josh Bell and Brandon Drury, if those guys don't hit, which they're not hitting, they're not going to the postseason.
Well, no, I agree with you. I do. We have to remember this about baseball. It's about more than individual performances. It's about cohesion, collectiveness. It's about having the right puzzle pieces. They don't have the right puzzle pieces right now.
Those guys I named are puzzle pieces that right now are doing jack shit.
Well, they're doing jack shit, but also I'm wondering if there's another combination of players here in the final 30 days of the season that could maybe help get them over the hump. They're listless. We're all saying it. They're lifeless. I think you can't allow yourself to be there and not try to get off the mat, is my point. Campusano's a good hitter. Look, you agree. I mean,
but you're not going to hit Campusano
career.
You're not hitting Campusano 1 through 6. You're not.
But Jim, they don't hit with men in scoring position up and down the lineup. Today, we talked about in the air, first and second, nobody out for 7, 8, 9. They go pop up, pop up, pop up. I don't care where they hit.
Well, like Profar's doing nothing. Cronenworth, like I like Jake Cronenworth a lot.
Yeah,
he's really good. But this year has been a very average year at best for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
or below.
Very average, and he has been horseshit this entire month. No doubt about it. He's had a couple big hits. Other than that, Jake Cronenworth has been really bad. Josh Bell has been really bad. Brandon Drury has had a couple moments, but other than that, he's been really bad. Jerkson Profar fell off a cliff. Juan Soto, he's been good, but not enough production offensively. And
that sample size is small. I don't think that's worthy of really
and now he's hurt
conversation if the other people, to your point, were doing their jobs. Now, how many games did he play as a Padre? Because he didn't play the last 2, and they're 8 and 12.
17?
Yeah, I mean, that's just not enough to say, man, I wish he had another home run. I mean, it's 17 games. Like,
they don't have the luxury of waiting for this stuff, though.
I know, but that's not the reason. Soto is the guy
Soto's not
that
a reason.
is
No,
on base.
I agree with you, John. I'm just saying I'm if he were driving in runs and hitting home runs and maybe hitting for more slug.
He's batting set, and I'm with you. I what you're saying at its core, I'm with you, and I'm not just defending him to the nth degree. I think he's been good. Here's the thing: he's not driving in runs. You're right. He could hit for more slug. The leadoff batter has not gotten on base since he joined the team.
They have no leadoff hitter. The leadoff hitter got suspended for
Jurickson
steroids.
Profar since Tatis news has done nothing.
Jack shit.
Will Myers is leading off one day. I mean, nothing is happening there. That's not on Juan Soto. So when you talk about driving in runs, when you bat second and you're batting when 9 and 1 have followed you in the lineup throughout the course of the game, and 9 and 1 are never on base, it's a bad cycle. Now he's on base, Soto, for Machado and for Bell.
Well,
and Bell
then
wasn't coming through.
Maybe put Soto behind Machado. I don't know.
Yeah, move him forward. I mean, yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to batting Juan Soto third.
Or fuck it, lead him off and then put Manny in the 2-hole.
I mean, I don't hate leading him off. I mean, you clog the bases, but they don't run. So who cares? So if he gets on base, you clog the bases. Who cares? You never run. They haven't run since like ever.
Grisham had
thank
over
you for the
20
super
steals in 2020, I want to say.
Who did?
Did Grisham have over 20 steals in 2020?
Someone put that in the chat for us. Jim,
how many steals did Trent Grisham have last year and in 2020? And then how many steals does he have this year? Because I want to say he doesn't run anymore. He just doesn't run.
The team doesn't. There's no threat of running, and the running game against them is used constantly. And that's, again, the mark typically of a bad baseball team.
Yeah, this is not a good baseball
team. When you're getting run on left and right, when you're getting run on left and right, and you can't figure that out all year. Last year, he had 13 stolen bases. In 2020, in 60 games, he had 10 stolen bases. This year, he has 5. Of course, he's never on base this year either. Jorge, thank you. He says, you can see the difference in the lineup when Soto is out. Yes and no, because they weren't
scoring with him in the lineup anyway.
Now, again, they had some crazy inning totals. There's like 5 of them, Jim. Game 1, the Drury Grand Slam.
They're front runners, dude. They're front runners.
Well, okay, that's fine. Game 1, they had the big inning. They've had a 7-run inning twice. They've had an 8-run inning. I agree with you. I think when things are going good, they're good. When things are going bad, they're bad. That has to change. But what I noticed against the Washington Nationals was Juan Soto was in the lineup every single day, and they still couldn't score more than 2 runs in any of the 4 games.
So
or maybe they scored 3.
You're saying
1, 3, 2, and 2. I think is how they scored the 8. No, I'm not blaming Juan Soto, but I'm saying, man, even with Soto, they're not scoring.
I honestly don't know what it is, dude. It's a organizational train wreck.
What about it was a 1 in 100 year collapse. This year they added a postseason spot. Baseball did. they've
what's worse, last year or this year?
Well,
if they don't make the postseason.
This is way worse.
If they don't make the postseason, there's still 37 games to play, right? It's not over.
Is that what it is? Or is it what's the record, Jim?
68-58.
So 36 games to play.
Okay, 36 games to play. It's not over.
No, it's a lot of games.
Writing might be on the wall, but it's not over. Okay. So
over 20% of their season.
Yeah. So this thing, they still make the postseason. And then you're like, absolutely, it's better than last year. Duh. But
yeah.
If they miss the postseason this year, could you argue this is worse? And you're not top 6 in the National League. Could you argue this is worse than last year?
Yeah, I'll make that argument on air on the wrap-up show and on John and Jim.
Yeah.
Again, Tatis is a big loss. It is. Starting pitching last year was a big loss for the Padres as well. Let's get to the super from Jake. Jake, thank you for hanging out. Thank you guys for the supers. Great way to support this channel. Please consider the super by clicking the $ down below. Please subscribe if you're a Padres fan as well. We're just getting started here on the wrap-up show in a moment. We're going to tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, if you have insurance needs and you want to save money. But Jake says, why could the Braves do it last year? And this quote-unquote team, collection of players, not. It feels like the same storyline as last year's Braves, but they suck. Braves made wholesale changes at the deadline. 4 position players brought in. 4 position players brought in at the deadline or from July 15th on. Jock Peterson mid-July, Soler, Duvall, whomever else.
Eddie Rosario.
And, I mean,
2 of the people that got brought in but won NLCS MVP and World Series MVP.
Right. So Jim, I'll ask you this. Like you said, I mean, this whole, is it too much? I mean, yeah, when it doesn't work, you can say it's too much. But what happens when it does work? Then it's not too much. It's lightning in a bottle.
Or it's the GM doesn't know how to get the right players and put them in the right places.
Maybe.
Like the GM is just collecting talent instead of a team that will work together based on analytics and whatever else they may look at.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
So does that
Soto,
mean the GM can never get it right? You know what I mean? Then it's
yeah.
then he
Like
can't get it right.
I believe that Juan Soto would fit with any lineup. I just do.
I agree.
Same thing with Manny Machado, and then same thing with Fernando Tatis Jr. But he's not here.
I
But
agree.
there's no one will ever be able to tell me that Juan Soto doesn't fit in any lineup. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the other pieces you got, like, I mean, they're just not good enough. They're not good. They're not good baseball. They're good baseball players, but they're not good enough. And this is what happens when they all collectively suck.
We'll get to one more super, then I'm going to tell you about Mark. Thank you, Steve-O, for this super. He says, word of advice, just become Braves fans. I don't think that's going to happen for a vast majority of people that are in here tonight. But on nights like tonight, you do question your fandom. Like, why do I do this day in and day out? Why do I follow this
and we'll
team
be
year
back
in and year
on
out?
Friday at 5 o'clock, 4
We'll
o'clock,
be
whatever
back.
the fuck
No
they
doubt.
play.
There's no doubt we will be following this team again come Friday night in Kansas City and screaming at the television when they go down 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
Yep.
If you have insurance needs, please contact Mark Nimitz. He can save you $750 right now on your insurance. Simple as that. He can save you $750 just by switching auto, home, renter's life, earthquake insurance. If you're a Padres fan, you got to get in contact with Mark. Just give him a call, talk Padres baseball. Believe me, he wants to hear from you. If you want to talk Padres baseball about the collapse that we've seen over the last who knows how many weeks at this point. If you want to talk Padres, Mark is there for you. If you want to talk about your insurance needs, Mark is the one for you as well. Auto, home, renter's life, earthquake insurance. I have my homeowners and my earthquake through Mark. We recently had a claim in here. He saved us thousands of dollars, all kinds of time, took care of everything, new flooring in here. Everything was taken care of thanks to Mark. So our family thanks Mark Nimitz. He's a San Diegan. He's a lifelong Padres fan. He lives and dies on it, like we always say, like you do. If you support this channel and you want to support a local business, there's no better person to support than Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. There's a link for his website down below. Get a quote online. Get everything you need online from Mark Nimitz and save money with Mark Nimitz.
Yeah, all his information's above my head. Shout out to Mark tonight. He's in the chat. Nimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
Yes, thank you again, Mark, for your support of this channel. Thank you, viewers, for your support of this channel as well. If you want to make sure we get your comment tonight, you can click that $sign down below in the chat. As always, we get to all of the supers. Now, we haven't even mentioned, I got into this whole thing today as well. We haven't even mentioned Blake Snell today. Obviously, he was bad. I mean, he was awful. He threw 43 pitches, recording one out in that fourth inning. You can't throw 40 pitches in an inning. The first three innings, he allowed one run, including the Jose Ramirez home run. Fourth inning, it unraveled. You could say same old story. We've seen it from Snell before, and that's fine. You're right. I mean, he wasn't good, and he's had moments where he's not been good for this team. The 9 prior starts coming in, I forget what I said earlier. I think he had a 2-4. The 9 prior starts coming in, he had given the Padres a chance to win basically every time. So, yeah, not ideal, but I'm still more honed in on the offense day in, day out struggles as opposed to these starters who, by and large, have been good. Musgrove, not as good in the second half. Darvish has been good. Snell has been better in the second half. Manaea has not been good, although he's coming off a good start. And who's the 5th starter? Clevenger. It's been solid. 6 innings, 2 runs his last time out. So, yeah, the starters haven't been perfect. They were better in the first half than the second half. But if I'm putting on a scale, what's hurt them more, starting pitching or hitting? I would say the hitting has weighed them down way more than the starting pitching.
Oh, I 100% agree. And if you're looking at the problems with this team right now, it's number 1 hitting, number 2 hitting, number 3 hitting, number 4 hitting, number 5.
Number 5, Josh
Hader. Number 6, Blake Snell, and the rest of and some of the pitchers are just widely inconsistent. But you're right. Like the last 9 starts for Snell, great. But you can never count on the guy to be consistent through his entire season. He will have these games.
That's true.
He'll have these type of games, and you're like, I believe that today and his if you look at his last 9 starts and then today, he's a pitcher somewhere in between there. I don't think he's the type of pitcher that was the last 9 starts, and I don't think he's the pitcher necessarily today. I think it's a little in between there. A guy that can maybe only give you 4, 5 innings at best, give up 3, 4 runs, and he'll strike out 7, walk 3. Like, he's just all over the place. He'll never put together a season again like his Cy Young year, right? And I would bet more on him putting a season together more closer than today than those last 9 starts. Last 9 starts were great. That's awesome.
No, that's fair. I mean, do I think he's going to post a 2.4 for an entire year at this point in his career? Probably not. But do I think that he's the pitcher that couldn't get out of the 4th inning? I know he's had long innings. I know it's followed him throughout his Padres career.
He just has too many of those. Like, it's just too many times when he has innings like this where he just completely shits the bed. And again, another thing that I said, like, this team in adversity. When Blake Snell has adversity, most of the time he crumbles. Most of the time. Sometimes he prevails. Sometimes he gets through it, and it's great. But majority of the time, when he faces adversity, dude fucking shits the bed.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to be some ridiculous Blake Snell apologist. I will just say, like, I thought he had thrown it pretty well. When you look at the second half, quote unquote, collapse, I don't think he's accountable really for it. Tonight was not good, and they need him to be better. I mean, there's no question. I think he referred to the fact that he might have been tipping today, potentially. Right, because, I mean, so we'll see about that. And he's still going to make, 7 starts. The final 35, 36 games for this team. I mean, if those 7 starts look like the prior 9.
Well, if you're tipping, how's no one in that fucking dugout, like, seeing that?
Well, yeah, but if you tip in 1 inning, I mean, it can unravel quick. I mean, I don't know, And again, is that an excuse? Maybe.
How is a pitcher allowed to throw? How is a starter allowed to throw 47 pitches in an inning?
You shouldn't. You should never. You're asking for trouble.
It goes back to the Bob Melvin quick hook thing. He just leaves this guy out there way too long.
So what did he have? His first 3 innings, then he threw what? 30 pitches?
I mean, the first inning he threw 13 pitches, all strikes, and he gave the home run to Jose Ramirez, who's literally amazing. And the 4th inning was a disaster. But
yeah,
again, how do you
30-something pitches in the first 3 innings and 40-something in the 4th?
How does he not see? Like, I would be getting it. If Blake Snell's around 20 pitches in an inning with no outs, I'm getting someone up right then.
And here's the thing: got an off day tomorrow. Like, why? Yeah. Right. Once you go down 2-0, or there's a man on at 2-0 or 3-0, like, you can't overcome a deficit larger than that. Now, it turns out today they couldn't have overcome a deficit of one dude scoring. But, like, you can't allow it to get to 6. I think it's a really good point, Jim. I mean, you just have to say sometimes it's not his day. They did it with Mania recently when he went 4, and, like, it's not your day.
How can everybody see that? Like, okay, this is an inning where Blake Snell's going to shit the bed, okay? And how do you not have a backup plan ready? At 20 pitches, and there's 47 pitches, only 1 out. At 20 pitches, no outs. Someone's up ready to go. 30 pitches, he's out. If he doesn't have at least an out or 2 by 30 pitches, you're done.
That was a disaster of an inning. There's no question. And he shouldn't have gotten as many. He shouldn't have had the leash he got, obviously, because the game was over. Once he left the game, the game was over.
Make a quicker hook. Bob Melvin, make a quicker hook. Stop giving these guys the leash that you give them and fucking make a move before shit hits the fan.
Yeah, you're right. Juan, thank you for the super. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Great way to support this channel with the super chat. Click that $sign down below. We'll interact with all the supers tonight. Again, Padres shut out by the Guardians. A miserable homestand, 2-4. Fortunate to win those 2 games. Come from behind fashion against the Nationals Saturday and Sunday. He says the curse continues and the ex-Padres curse lives. Cal Quantrill today could not have been better. Cal Quantrill goes 7 innings, allows 5 hits, walks 1, strikes out 6. You look at the lineup here in this series. Josh Naylor today was 1 for 5. Owen Miller, former farmhand, 2 hits.
Oh, I forgot.
Jose Ramirez they tried trading for. He goes 3 for 3 with 2 home runs.
Cal Quantrill just shoved down the Padres' throat today.
Which you kind of had a feeling was going to happen if you've been watching this offense.
Oh, dude. You knew it was happening.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out. I mean, we tried to do it for 3 hours on the radio today. We took tons of calls, including from someone that said we were both young and stupid for our
That's what
exaggerations.
was that what they said? I didn't go back and listen. What they say?
Um, this guy Eddie called. I listened, but he said, what did he say first? Something about Tatis. He had like a normal, like 8-second take on Tatis,
Yeah,
not overcoming the press conference. Then he's like, by the way, you guys exaggerating is why you sound young and stupid on the air. I then said, would you care to provide an explanation? He hung up. I said, okay, here's the deal. Call back, Eddie. Because
don't listen to us anymore.
And I said, listen, if you don't want authentic, honest talk, you can listen to other outlets. There are other outlets that will not provide the same level of criticism that I believe to be honest and fair and reasonable. If you want it through rose-colored glasses, you know what? You don't have to watch the wrap-up show. You don't have to listen to us on John and Jim on Extra 1360. That's fine. We realize there's dozens of outlets to consume content. If you want to talk to people that watch it day in and day out and feel the same way you do, we're here for you. So anyway, I said, call back if you want to provide an explanation. He called back.
You're so mad at this.
At the break, I picked up the phone, which is a bad idea. He like cursed me out, hung up again. Anyway, I mean, and the reason was because I said the Padres lost 55-0 today, and I exaggerated. I'm like, yeah, it was a joke. I'm being facetious. It feels like they go down 1 run and they're down 55-0. That was my point.
Yeah, 1 run's like 10 runs to this team right now.
Yeah, Eddie. Oh, wasn't Eddie A.
Sorry. Glad. Thanks job, Eddie. Yeah.
Thanks, Eddie. For the good Eddies are always welcome here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John and Jim represent Realville. Listen to 97.5.
Yeah, don't even listen. Right. Listen to 97.5, which I think is just static.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, Anthony. We do appreciate that. I mean, how can I listen? If you guys sound, I don't even want to get into what Eddie said, but what do you want me to spin when the Padres go an entire homestand and score 9 runs? They hit 160 as a team. They hit 105 with the men in scoring position. Up and down the lineup, nobody contributes in any manner. I will give Josh Bell some credit for coming out of this ridiculous funk, homering a couple of times, 2 hits today, including a double. I think Hassan Kim has been fine. But up and down, no consistency, no continuity. Bad at bats everywhere. Myers, Grisham, Alfaro, Profar, Cronenworth. I'm talking to you. And what do you want us to say? I mean, I'll be honest with you on Snell. I thought Snell's been good and was bad today. You know, the bullpen today, it's nice to see Jose Castillo get out there. It's nice to see Josh Hader at least spin a scoreless inning. Like, those are positives. But I'm not in the moral victory business. They go 0 for 9 with men in scoring position. They cannot hit with men in scoring position. They're not clutch. Their season is on the line. That's the bottom line. Their season is on the line this weekend in Kansas City. Roll over, season's over. Show up and fight. You can live to see another day.
Yeah, look, the players get the blame here because they've created this mess. The organization gets the blame. I don't know what happens behind closed doors. I don't know what type of analytics they're feeding this team, but clearly it's not good enough. The analytic department for years, John, has been 20 steps behind the rest of baseball. I mean, it's a joke how bad this analytic department is. It's not even close to the rest of baseball. I mean, the Dodgers run literal laps around the Padres as far as analytics go. I mean, is analytics the end all be all to why this team gets these players and they come here and they suck?
I don't think so. So you show up and then their bad analytics pull you down into a drain.
But the average players you see go to the Dodgers, like a Trace Thompson, all of a sudden they perform there. But guys here, like an average player, like a Jorge Alfaro or a Trent Grisham or a Jerkson Profar or a Jake Cronenworth, they don't. I don't understand that.
Right.
Because you know damn well, you put Jake Cronenworth with the Dodgers, dude's hitting 330.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what does that say? Why is that? Why is that? Is it because
I think there's a number of factors.
Yeah.
I think there's a number of factors that
It's
aren't
not
just
just
analytics, not just coaching, might be the lineup around you. I mean, I think there's a number of factors and they're all valid.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one thing.
Yeah. And it's It's a number of things that you, and the rest of the people in here don't see as to why this is happening.
By the way, if you want to find that audio from earlier, somebody asked in the chat, hour 3, John and Jim, iHeartRadio app, maybe around 5:20, about 20 minutes into the segment, I would say. It's kind of
John
funny.
is trying to ruin our show, so good job, John.
No, I'm not trying to ruin the show.
Just kidding.
If we get let go, we get let go. We got the wrap-up show.
That's fine.
No, I mean, what did we do wrong? I mean, I didn't call in and say we're young.
With,
I didn't call in and say we're idiots.
It's over with.
This is from the guy that couldn't sleep like a week ago when he called out Manny Machado and everyone ripped into him.
I was fine. You couldn't sleep for like 3 weeks after you called out a Shohei Ohtani.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. Let's continue on here by telling our viewers about our partners, including Omar Sanchez at Edge Home Finance, brand new website, loansbyomar.com. We'll show you in a moment. If you have mortgage needs, Omar is here to help. You can check out his brand new website. Please do that, by the way, loansbyomar.com. Can you pull that up for us? Check it out. Support it, loansbyomar.com. Scan the QR code or text him 619-387-7798. He's your San Diego native mortgage broker. If you're looking to buy your dream home or refinance to consolidate your debt, Omar's your guy. If you're in the process of buying or refinancing and you want a second opinion to make sure you're getting the best deal possible, call or text Omar. You're going to get a free consultation. And then also make sure to check out his website. I'm going to share that on the screen right now. This brand new website from our buddy Omar Sanchez. Take a look at this, which I don't know if you can see right now or not. The answer is no. Okay, you can now. So this is loansbyomar.com. At the site, click education, and you got everything you need to know about home buying. I'm talking about first-time home buyers and renting and mortgage management and refinancing and everything you need to know about mortgages, all available in one place. Loansbyomar.com, brand new site, great supporter of the wrap-up show. San Diegan, went to San Diego State, huge Padres fan. If you support this channel and you have mortgage needs, we ask that you check out Omar Sanchez at Edge Home Finance.
Yeah, the QR code on the screen will take you right to this website. If you're watching our videos, you can just scan the code. It will take you to this website. Also, you can text him 619-387-7798. When you reach out to Omar, make sure to let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
Thank you, Omar, for your support of the Wrap-Up Show. Thank you, viewers, for hanging out with us here tonight. Again, the Padres lose again to the Guardians. Cleveland's playing good baseball. They've won 12 of 16, I believe. They win today 7-0. It really wasn't a game after that fourth inning. And now the day off. Now, Friday, what's the pitching rotation? It's going to be Musgrove, Darvish, Minaya. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, needing two in Kansas City. I just don't see how we spin this if they take one or fewer in Kansas City.
We get back to the air on Monday, and they've only taken one game in Kansas City. How can you not have one foot out the door?
Right. Looking at 2023.
Exactly. How can this team not go 1-2-3 Cancun? Or at least the fan base. Not the team, but
this is where Melvin, right? I mean, how many times were we sold this bill of goods? When the going gets tough, this is where a veteran manager can help stem the tide.
Well, didn't you say today this is the exact same record they had at this time last year?
Correct.
Okay. So this is it. You're right. This is the moment. This is why you got Bob Melvin here. Because at this exact same moment last year, you were flailing. You were going in a deep dive. This moment this year, you're flailing. You're going into a deep dive. And you blame the manager last year, you got rid of him.
Right. What are we going to blame this year?
So this year,
Tatis?
This is why you get Bob Melvin. If you continue down this road and you continue to flail and you continue to nosedive and you continue to suck, just like you did last year in September, is it the manager's fault again? Is it AJ Preller's fault again? Is it all the players' fault?
Can you put a poll up, Jim, on Preller? I mean, we talked about it all day. I think it's at least a worthy talking point.
What do you got?
If the Padres miss the playoffs, should AJ Preller be fired? Yes or no? If the Padres miss the playoffs, should AJ Preller be fired? Yes or no? Jim will put a poll in the chat. I'll pull up this super from JD's Third, a loyal viewer and supporter of the channel. Thank you guys for the supers. Thanks for hanging out. Please subscribe. If If you want to make sure we get your comment, if you want to support this channel, we always appreciate it. Click that $sign down below. He says maybe AJ Tingler Preller
Just fire Tingler again.
Is in fact cursed. I mean, Preller is in the midst of, is it season 8, Jim? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Season 8 had the short season that was successful. The other 7 have been failures. I mean, has he earned a 9th season?
One more year,
Soto
John.
Trade. I know, it's funny. I mean, you could say that for forever, right? I mean, is the idea of Soto, Machado, Tatis so appealing for ownership that's bought Preller time? I mean, they'll be here either way. You can get rid of Preller today. You'll still have Soto, Machado, Tatis tomorrow.
So right now, we got 50.
Let me guess.
Okay, guess.
I was gonna say like both like 50-50.
Pretty close. 46% say yes, 54% say no.
Okay, so 46% say get rid of him if they miss.
Yes.
Okay. So less than 50% right now, but maybe in the neighborhood of 50%. Get rid of them if they miss the playoffs. I would actually say
around 100 votes, and we're about almost 50-50.
You know, I would say I don't believe Peter Seidler will fire him as a result of whatever happens from here on out this year. If it was up to me, maybe it's a different conversation, but I've been saying over the last 3 weeks, AJ Preller did his job, and I still feel that way. I think it's on a lot more individuals beyond Preller at this point.
Again,
so we'll see.
The talking point, and while I agree with you, I think Preller did his job this year. This is all on the players. But the talking point will be, when is enough enough? Like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you are continuously bringing the guy back to do the same thing over and over and over again. Have a team that looks good on paper, might get out to a good start. And this goes back to 2019. 2015, that was a disaster, all right? And that's on Preller. But from 2016 to 2018, those 3 years, like, were such...
That was the rebuild.
I don't even know what to call. Yeah, that was a rebuild, I guess. That was the rebuild. But from 2019 to 2022, those 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, those are the years that I'm really judging Preller on. And they've been all disasters.
Yeah, they haven't been good.
Yeah, and 2020 was fine. They went to the postseason, okay?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
But can you really judge that year as a great positive?
Right.
Because I can't.
Yeah, no, it's easy to discount it. I mean, I would say this: if you make the playoffs this year, you could say the trend is 2020 and 2022. If you miss the playoffs this year, you could say the outlier is 2020.
Or you
that's what's on the line.
Or you could say you make the postseason this year. You have this 3-year plan, right? You make the postseason this year. Really, I don't see them getting hot and making a deep run. It's hard to see that, right? But at least you've made a step. Then next year, you make another step, right? And then hopefully, either the following season or whatever the case may be, you make that final step and you get over that hump. Like, that would be a good progression, and you hope that happens. But, I mean, if it doesn't start this year, it's just like, when's enough enough?
See, I mentioned this. To Donate Trip NBC7 today on the radio. I asked this question. I said, if you keep spending like this and you don't get results, why would you keep spending like this?
Why? You're not. It's dumb.
And thank you, JD's 30. He says Seidler can't keep spending $240 with 0 results. I mean, again, it's a business. If you can make money spending $240 without winning, I don't see it like that. Ultimately, you're going to have to win. I mean, you cannot fold down the stretch every year.
Yeah,
and
it's got to be
and make money.
It's got to be so maddening, though. Like, last year, you didn't do anything in the trade deadline. You shit the bed. This year, you did everything in the trade deadline. You're shitting the bed. Like, what are we supposed to do here?
I wonder what this all means. We mentioned this today on the radio as well. What does this mean for Machado's future with this team? I mean, he's only guaranteed 1 additional year based on his contract, which his agency put together. He has the mid contract opt out after year 5. Now, I've always believed that he would only opt out based on his play if he's played above the contract, I could see him opting out. But if the team doesn't win, is that a part of the equation for Manny Machado after year 5?
I think if the team doesn't win, but they still have Soto, Tatis, Musgrove, Darvish, Hader, like maybe, but it's not like you're surrounded by shit players. He might think like we have enough. You know what I mean? Like if it was the 2019 version of the Padres, he'd be like, I'm out. Or the 2018 version.
I'm telling you, Jim, that is going to be fascinating to watch. Machado's decision. It's going to be talked about widely in 2023.
All right. Big super here from our buddy Where You At Productions.
Oh, Where You At Productions.
Thank you. Where You At Productions.
Thank you. We even skipped over a super to get to this.
Didn't even realize that. Sorry.
Okay, so Where You At Productions, that is very kind and generous. Jorge will get right back to you, I promise, with the super. Have to get to this. He says, watch Yasiel Puig last night in the KBO. I got curious, so I looked up his numbers this year. 823 OPS, 15 homers, 339 average, and a 26-game on-base streak. It's crazy considering his history, but if you can't score, should AJ make a call? It's too late for something like that. I mean, he had a bad outfield going into the season, and he wasn't making that type of move. So I don't think he's making that heading into September 1st. Now, the move he made to upgrade his outfield is pretty clear in Juan Soto. He went big to upgrade his outfield. I don't think he's going to try to get cute now with someone that is now years past their prime, that's had a nice little run in the KBO, which is AA baseball, essentially. So, listen, I love the creativity Where You At Productions. Like, how can you make this team better in the immediate when there's no waiver trade deadline anymore at the end of August? You got your AAA team. You got your AA team. Can they help you in some form or fashion? I believe maybe they could in some form or fashion. Campusano, Rosario, bullpen, right? But guys like Yasiel Puig, that type of flyer, a flyer like that this late, I don't know if that would have any impact. Either way, I'm not saying it would kill the team. I just don't think it would help the team.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And plus, I think the Yasiel Puig train stopped years ago.
Like after his first month in the big leagues when he was unbelievable,
right?
Like 500.
I know.
I mean, he was definitely one of these guys that was like a shooting star. Like he flared out quick.
Like,
it was high
and
it was low. You know, you try to avoid that with long deals like the Padres have put themselves in. And hopefully they can with their current star in, Fernando Tatis Jr. But thank you again, Where You At Productions. Very generous, very kind. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I do want to get to this from Jorge, who says, look at the bright side. Next year, all clubs play each other at least once. I don't know if that's a bright side. You play the Dodgers less. I guess that's a bright side.
You play the Dodgers, 12 times?
As opposed to 19.
Yeah, usually it's an 18 games a year. So you miss
I think it's
2 series.
Yeah, it's 19 this year.
So basically it's 2 series less with the Dodgers.
Yeah, which, I would guess would be a good thing. The Padres don't play their division well. I mean, look at the last 20 years.
They suck against their division.
Yeah, they don't play the Giants well historically. They suck in Colorado. Arizona on the road has been a house of horrors. Not this year. Yeah. They've been good against Arizona this year. We did the comparison, guys, of Brewers' schedule, Padres' schedule. Like, we literally looked at every game today.
It's not pretty.
And it's night and day. You're going to need, like when St. Louis plays Milwaukee 4 times still this year, you need St. Louis to win all 4 of those games.
Yeah.
When the Mets and Yankees go to Milwaukee, I think they go to Milwaukee, right? As opposed to them going on the road.
Yes.
Yeah. Like when the Mets and Yankees are there, you're rooting for a 5-1. You're rooting for the Mets and Yankees to win 5 of those 6 games. Like you're going to need something like that because there's some built-in wins with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and Chicago. They'll probably have a couple of good series. They might sweep a series or 2. So you need teams like St. Louis and the Mets and the Yankees to take care of business when they do play Milwaukee down the stretch. Otherwise, I don't see it. I just don't.
Like you can't hope that the Milwaukee Brewers don't take advantage of their shit schedule. That's not a good strategy to have.
Right. Brent, our producer on radio, had a good point. He said the Brewers this year against division, it's a bad division. They are 3 games over 500. Not exactly killing it.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good sign for the Padres.
Yeah. So if they play like that and, they play okay,
Yeah.
You still have to play okay, though, because even if they go a game or two over against those teams, 20 games, you go 11-9.
Yeah.
Are the Padres capable of playing 11-9 baseball over 20? What we've seen since deadline, they don't look like a team that can do that. I say that, but I mean, it's not like the wheels have completely fallen off. 8-12 over a 20-game stretch is not the most ridiculous stretch.
Right.
But when you add in July and June, Tatis, no answers from anyone. It just feels like it's worse than it's been, maybe.
Right.
You know? I do want to remind our viewers about our partnership with Aura. And you can get a 30% discount if you shop at Aura right now. ORA.organic. Click this Build Your Routine button. You're getting 30% off your very first order. Plant-based nutrition company based in San Diego. 30% off your first order. Their co-founder, Will, is a terrific guy. He's a Padres fan. He's like Mark. He's like Omar. They love the Padres. I mean, they really, it's unbelievable. Like everyone with us here every single night, it's like you're trying to do everything in your power to will this team to win, and it's just not enough. But Will's a huge Padres fan. Offices in Liberty Station. We had lunch with him last month. Great guy. Great company. Plant-based nutrition, probiotics, which I take every single day for digestion. They have proteins for after workouts, pre-workout supplements, omega-3 oils, immunity pills, sleep pills. I mean, literally something for everyone, something for you, your spouse, your family, your friends. Check them out at ORA.organic. There is a link down below. If you support this channel, please support our local partners, including Aura, ORA.organic.
Yeah, go there right now, www.aura.organic. They have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. It's all vegan, all organic based, tastes delicious. Go there right now. Check it all out. Build your routine. You get 30% off your first order. You will thank us later.
Listen, I mean, put up like the hand up emoji if you have faith. Like, I still think there's a reason to believe, keep the faith. So, yeah, I mean, I want to put it up through.
I'm like,
I know, through Kansas City. I mean, it doesn't feel right if you roll over against bad teams, and all of a sudden you turn the switch on against good teams. I guess it's possible.
Like, we're great again. We're great.
But it doesn't seem like that's the formula. And I'm not saying that the season, I mean, I think I did say earlier, if you win 1 of 3 in Kansas City and the Brewers win 2 of 3 against whoever the hell they're playing, your season isn't over, obviously. You would lose a game in that scenario. But it just doesn't feel right when you lose series to the Marlins and the Nationals and the Royals in this hypothetical that you all of a sudden play better baseball against the Dodgers and the Cardinals. So that's the reason why I'm putting the eggs in the basket of like, I still have faith, but show it to me now and go win a series this weekend.
Nope. I don't have any faith, but I'm here till the end.
Is that what people are saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm on the screen there from Peter. No, but I'm here till the end.
I get it. I mean, it's hard to look away from the train wreck or the car crash. I do. I understand. I mean, I see
surfers there. There we go.
Yeah, I see some hands up.
Faye, she's in it. Perfect.
Yes. And that's how it should be, by the way. I would never tell anyone to turn their back. I would never turn the back on the team. It's just frustrating.
Be ready. Just be ready. Like, don't say we didn't warn you.
What, right? For the collapse?
Right. Don't say we didn't warn you that in September, facing the Dodgers 9 times, you're going to be lucky if you win 5 of those games.
Well, 5, Jim, would be
4
amazing.
Of those games.
Yeah, 5.
You'll be lucky to win 4 of those games.
And 4 and 5, you can do it then. If you can take 4 of 9 against the Dodgers, you have some faith in your abilities.
Theoretically,
right?
You'll win a series.
You have to. There's no way to win 4 without doing it, because you have to have a 1-1-2 or 3-0-1.
Yeah.
So you'd win a series. You'd build some level of confidence or momentum, you would think, in doing that. If they can beat it's a big if. And I was the one to tell you it could look different in September if you get Tatis back. But the way they're playing, that's what concerns me. The way they're playing.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they can do it or not.
It's nothing.
Solo Dolo, thank you. Do we need more hitting coaches? I don't think so. I don't put it on Michael Berdar.
It's not the hitting coach's fault. It's just the players aren't good enough.
Right.
Like that's
following direction, or the opposing game
comes down to
are good.
They're not good enough. But also there is probably something to the fact that the organization is not helping these bad players out at all either. Like the role
Right.
is to take average players and elevate them. And these average players on this team are just that or worse. Like they're not being elevated. Ha-Seong Kim, you maybe could say is elevated, but is that
Yeah.
good enough over the
No,
course of a year?
apparently not.
No, because it's average. It's what an average baseball
Yeah.
player should hit. For Ha-Seong Kim, it's a great season. But if you're looking at an average baseball player, you're like, that's what an average baseball player is.
Yeah, and I'm with Quan and 619 Cam. I mean, it's almost, it's funny. It's like this is when you really have to show your true identity as a fan. Like, are you there on these tough days and tough nights? And there have been a lot of tough days and tough nights for Padres fans recently. And I'm talking about the last couple of years, most specifically. There will be better days, and they could be tomorrow. Well, they're not losing tomorrow. It's a Thursday. They're off. But
the win day.
The thing with sports is we don't know when it turns, and it might not be in 2022, but it might be.
Maybe.
It might be. We can't
By the
guarantee
way,
it one way or the other.
Looking at our poll, the Padres missed the postseason. Should AJ Preller be fired? 58% say no, 42% say yes, with over 150 votes.
Okay. Yeah, I believe he'll stay. And I'm not opposed to it. I'm not. I mean, maybe I'm somewhat indifferent if they go completely in the tank and they win 79 games like last year. I mean, what's the mentality of the fan base going to be? And even the clubhouse at that point. But I still think the trade deadline has earned him more time, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
Jake, thank you again for your super. He says, dog days are over. It's crunch time. Play with heart. They do need to play with some heart. They do. And the dog days are over. You're right.
Buckle down and get a fucking hit with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that's just crazy stuff right now.
Jesus.
You heard it's something stupid, like 6 for their last 67 or 7.
They hit like 105, 106 at home. 105 last 9 games at home. Runners in scoring position. Left over 50 men on base.
105. You're not playing. You're not playing the Dodgers. You're playing the Washington Nationals.
It's not great.
7 for 66
Cleveland. At home. 7 for 66 at home.
I do love Cleveland's bullpen. Because you're buried when you trail. And if you're the Padres and you trail against Cleveland's bullpen, you got no shot.
And the Padres don't have that luxury where you can get if you get a 1-run lead going into the 7th inning, you have lockdown bullpen pieces.
Yeah, game's not over.
No, game is far from over.
Yeah, I mean, you can win some of those games, but you can lose some of those games too, as we've seen. Solo Dolo, thank you for the super. He says, I heard the Giants had 6 hitting coaches last year. And that may have been the case, but I would assume they have 6 this year and they're a 500 team. And
one of those hitting coaches was Michael Berdar. So
that's right.
You poach off the Giants, and is it Michael Bedar's fault? Was Michael Bedar one of the reasons why the Giants last year won 107 games?
I don't know. I mean, right. If he gets the credit for 107 wins.
But he wasn't even the real hitting coach last year. He was like an assistant.
Maybe he was elevated too quickly.
28. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
It's not the hitting coach. But I mean, it is kind of funny to imagine what the 28-year-old hitting coach talking to Manny Machado about hitting is kind of comical. But he probably doesn't need to talk to Manny Machado, who's hit 300.
I mean, if anybody's going on, and you hear it a lot, is the hitting coach needs to be fired. I heard one time somebody say that either like the hitting coach's background is that he like studied like economics in college. It's not good. I was like, what?
Wait, who are you imitating?
I'm imitating that old person that like, never mind.
No, just like Johnny Old Guy.
Johnny Old Guy.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Good ball players.
Good ball. What are you talking about? All right, guys. I mean, we'll be back with you Friday night. And I mean, Friday night could go a long way. Joe Musgrove, like they need a good version of Joe Musgrove. They never play in Kansas City. It's like fish out of water. Like what? Padres in Kansas City? Yeah, it's completely bizarre. Now it's going to change moving forward next year. You play everyone, blah, blah, blah. So that'll change.
They go like the first 4 innings on Friday without
a hit.
Without a hit, or like they have like 2 hits. Dude.
Not going to be good. Like Bob Melvin said, it's at rock bottom. There's no such thing in sports. You can always keep losing. There's no guarantee that you don't stop losing. So
guess what? We'll be there.
We'll be there for you. We will be there for you no matter what happens. All right, before we get out of here, please make sure to subscribe to our podcast, the Wrap-Up Show official podcast now, friersonbase.com. Please check us out at friersonbase.com. That's presented by Higher Impact Financial. Our buddy Eric Lanier, check him out at higherimpactfinancial.com. Let me tell you about Eric and Higher Impact Financial. He's San Diego born and raised, huge Padres fan. His mission is to align his clients' values and passions with their finances. And you need a tailored approach to your big financial goals. That's where Eric can help. He's a fiduciary. He will only make recommendations that truly make sense for you and are in your best interest. He specializes in retirement planning. Along with that, if you are a new family trying to figure out financial planning and investing, Eric can help you too, whether it's figuring out how to manage your debt, paying for college for your kids, or improving your cash flow. Please support Eric, another local business, a guy that supports this channel. We'd love for you to reach out to him if you have any needs. 951-383-3033. Please get in contact with him. 951-383-3033. Again, if you have financial needs, please check out their website as well. higherimpactfinancial.com, higherimpactfinancial.com, and subscribe to our podcast, again, on Friars on Base, part of the Fansided Network. Also, please shop Wrap-Up Show gear. Look at that gear. It's so cool. Look at those people. They're cooler than us. Shop the gear. Links down below.
Those guys hit with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, I mean, guys and girls.
That's a team right there.
And then become a member. Click that join button. Emojis, badges, members-only content as well. Before we get out of here, thank you, Where You At Productions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
can
you.
we get some clap emojis for everyone? Everyone that's here tonight, clap for yourself. Let's get some clap emojis.
Yeah, you all are enduring some horrible times, man. The last couple
But you're
of years.
here every night, and if you're not here live, you're on replay.
Misery loves company.
If you're not here on replay, you're listening to the podcast. So thank you guys. He says, love the show. Padre faithful to the end. Juan Soto going to come back strong. We haven't even talked about that. We definitely need him today. They need him Friday. Friday.
Yep.
So hopefully he's healthy come Friday. Please subscribe for us, folks. Year-round Padres content. We're here for you. Please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Please support our partners. Thank you for the clap emojis. We see them coming in. Thanks, Jim, for pulling those up. Please support Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor, Farmers Insurance. Link down below for his site. Save $750 on your insurance with Mark. Please support Ora, ORA.organic, 30% off your first order, all plant-based nutrition. Also, Omar Sanchez, Edge Home Finance. Scan that QR code on the screen right now to get to his brand new website, loansbyomar.com. That is loansbyomar.com. All right, guys. From the highs of the trade deadline to Juan saying this sucks. Season's not over. Let's see if they can rebound this weekend in Kansas City. We will be back Friday night. We'll be with you tomorrow on the radio. Please join us 3 to 6 on Extra and the iHeart Radio app. Talking Padres baseball until tomorrow at 3 p.m. Until Friday night on the Wrap-Up Show. For Jim, I'm John. Have a good night, everybody, if possible.